You've been thinking about a trip to Thailand? Has it always been on your bucket list of places to visit? Well, guys, if that's the case, you might want to come sooner rather than later. Let me explain why. Why, hello there. So listen, guys, if Thailand is on your bucket list and you're just dying to come here, listen, you want to come as soon as you possibly can. Not just for the incredible beaches, the amazing street food, the exotic wildlife, the erotic nightlife. No, there is one big reason why you want to come now. Simply because the Thai Tourism Authority is about to make what I think is the biggest mistake possible. They are looking at enacting a two-tier payment system for hotel rentals here, where they want the prices to go back to the pre-pandemic levels for tourists and stay at the current levels for the local Thai people. Now listen, I have no problem with them giving a break to the local Thais. I'm all for that. I think, you know what, if you can promote tourism in your own country and give the local people some type of incentive is fantastic. But to do it at the cost of the tourist really doesn't make a lot of sense, especially right now, because I'm going to tell you something. The tourists that the Thai Tourism Authority is looking at getting simply are not coming here right now because, well, most of them are in lockdown in China, to be honest with you, or they're stuck up in Russia due to the war and they're not able to travel and they don't have access to money. Not only that, let's face it, with the rising cost of living throughout the world, there's not a lot of disposable income out there to pay crazy rates for stuff that, to be honest with you, you shouldn't be paying. End of story. So I think this whole scheme that they are looking at bringing into effect is actually going to have the exact opposite effect that they want. It's not going to attract more high value tourists. I think it's going to discourage people from coming here because it's not fair to have a two-tier payment system. It's really not. And not only that, to be honest with you, as I explained later on in my video, a lot of these places, they're not worth what they were worth 2 and 3 years ago because the deferred maintenance on them is insane. You would not believe it. Not only that, it also comes down to supply and demand. So it is what it is. Let me show you around and try to explain to you where I'm coming from, okay? Right now, believe it or not, if you do an Agoda search for hotel rooms here in Patong, there are 57 hotels listed for under $10 a night, which is absolutely insane when you think about it, because on the write-up it says discounted 80% today only. Well, they've been discounted since I've been here the entire time, and the prices have not changed at all. Are they worth, $100 a night? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Look, I've stayed in some places, some $10 a night hotels here they're not bad. I mean, they are what they are. They're run down, they're tired, the beds are not comfortable, rooms are not great, the facilities need all kinds of upgrades, but they're cheap and they're not bad. I'll be honest with you, if I was paying $100 a night, I'd want something much nicer. So one thing you guys need to consider is the fact that yes, we are getting incredible deals on our accommodations here, but also these places are tired. And what I mean by that is the maintenance has been deferred on them for the past couple of years, obviously because of COVID. A lot of these places have been shut down for years and just tired. And what I mean by that is the electrical systems, the heating, cooling systems, the furniture, the beds, the linens, everything is tired. It's beat, it's worn, it's dated. I kind of compare it to Cuba. If you've ever been to Cuba and you stayed at a 3 or a 4-star resort there, you know what it's like for a lot of the places here. Now, I have stayed in some high-end luxury places here that honestly, they call them a 5-star, but they're not a 5-star. I mean, they're a 2.5-star in China and probably a 3 or a 4-star back in Canada and North America. But honestly, they're not 5 stars. You know, good example where I live. I love where I live. I'm paying just a little over $220 Canadian a month. But I will be honest with you, if they were to raise the rent of me again, I would probably find someplace else to live. Now, again, I love my place, but is it worth much more than what I'm paying when there's so many other options out there? Probably not. Now, I do love the pool. I love my neighbors. But, you know, in all fairness, every other day my air conditioning breaks down, which I know, you know, first world problems. Ooh, it's terrible. But it is a pain in the calling them all the time. Hey, you know what? My air conditioning broke down. Hot water broke down. This, that, the other thing. Now, I will give them credit here. They're very fast to come and fix things. But I've stayed at 58 different places here in Thailand, and it's all the same. Even the high-end places are tired and in need of some serious renovations and updating. So when they're talking about going back to the pre-pandemic pricing for foreigners, I'm not sure the value's there, to be honest with you. I'm really not convinced that it is. Especially where, like I said, I've stayed in 58 different places. You guys can go back, you can look at my videos and see a lot of the places that I've stayed in. Again, I did stay in some luxurious places, but they weren't worth 10 times what I was paying for them. And, you know, some places I was paying $50, $60 a night to stay in them just because I wanted to make a video about them. I wouldn't have stayed there for any other reason other than to make a video. So, I don't know. I really don't. Yeah, this place is a lot like Cuba. Especially when you consider Cuba used to have that two dual stupid currency thing. One for the local people, one for the foreigners. And that was stupid and it didn't work at all. And people complained about it. And yeah, they did away with that. So, hopefully if they do try this absolute debacle of an idea, hopefully they'll realize that it's stupid and they'll get rid of it as well as fast as possible. Now guys, listen, I'm not one to spew out statistics and stuff because honestly, I don't know where they're coming from a lot of the time, but I will tell you this much. According to the Thai Tourism Authority, Phuket is running at a 30% occupancy rate. Now that's for units that are up and running. You have to understand, there are whole neighborhoods. And when I say neighborhoods, I mean full blocks, blocks and blocks of places like these ones behind me that are completely closed. They haven't been open for years. We're talking thousands of hotel rooms just in this one area alone, completely closed down. So is that 30% real? Is it honest? I don't think so. So again, comes down to supply and demand. How are they going to start charging pre-pandemic prices when there's all this inventory? And I'm going to tell you something again, guys. I've stayed in hotels here where I'm the only guest. 80, 90 room hotels. I'm the only person. And I stayed there for a week. And honestly, I was the only person in the entire hotel. And again, guys, I'm telling you, all of these places in this block that I'm in here, I think there's 120 different hotels. I think there's 6 of them that are open. 6. It's absolutely insane what they're thinking about doing with raising the rates for the foreigners. So again, if you're thinking of coming to Thailand, I'd come soon because they're going to do this. And when they do, I think it's going to backfire on them huge. So come on over. I'll buy you a beer. So if there's one thing I've learned that you can count on here in Thailand is that you cannot count on anything except for possibly your fingers. Yes, already, even just hours after my video, the hotels here in Phuket have said no. No, we don't want to do this. This is going to destroy our industry here. Please don't do this to us. Maybe my video, even though it wasn't even released yet, helped just a little bit. You're welcome.